Hi everybody, old Gary Hydrick here for this week's Fishing Chums Fishing Report. It's going to be a quick report because it's been cold and windy. It's hunting season, not a lot of people fishing right now, but the old boys are going out or picking up some fish, and the ladies too, by the way. So we've got a pretty good report. Some crappie being caught at Truman. Also Stockton looks good this weekend for crappie. Let's go fishing.
Fish and Chums!
That's right. You know, this weekend, here it is, the middle. We're doing this show on Friday. It's the middle of November. Water temperature's dropping. Not a lot of people fishing, but the ones who are pretty well catching some pretty nice fish. Now, if you're going to go to Table Rock this weekend for bass fishing, hey, a handful of bait's going to pay off for you. Get out and look for some balls of shad. Any kind of shad activity, use, the topwater's about gone, not much on topwater, but throw a grub, quarter-ounce grub. I like that smokeless red flake, spoons maybe, and they've been picking up some fish on rattle traps. Look at your rattle traps. And wiggle warts, hit the banks with wiggle warts and rock crawlers. And then you might want to go out on the points and secondary points somewhere on some of the flats edges and go to the Ned Rig. This could pay off this weekend as well. And they've been picking up some fish on spinner baits, but you got to have wind for this. So Table Rock may be fair. Keep an eye out on those balls of shad, that's for sure. Okay, Bull Shoals, much like Table Rock, Bull Shoals has been producing some pretty good bass fishing. Not numbers like I mentioned on last week's program, but definitely nice quality fish have been caught. Bass have been caught at Bull Shoals. Same thing, spinner baits, slow rolling spinner baits can pay off on the point, secondary points, and about halfway back into the coves and creek arms. And watch for the balls of shad. This is where you can throw that grub and run a grub down there just below the surface or let it sink and slow roll it. And if you see any activity on the bottom, go to the spoon. And they've been picking up some fish at Bull Shoals on the Ned Rig, much like Table Rock. And jigs, football jigs have been working pretty good as well. But Bull Shoals, get out there and try it. Hey, don't overlook the rock crawler and wiggle warts out there as well this weekend. Okay, let's go to Truman Lake. Crappie in two different patterns, just like last week. The crappie are still being caught on the late fall pattern back in the creek arm flats, out on the flats, in about anywhere from 12, 15 to 18 feet of water, jig and minnow combination. But more and more fish are being caught out on the main lake, as I mentioned on last week's program, on the bluffs, on the bluff points, and just kind of cruise along the bluffs with your electronics. Find a big ball of shad, you're just about guaranteed you're going to catch some crappie. So the bluff areas at Truman, jig and minnow combination. And the hybrid fishing, white bass fishing you never know when these things are going to start hitting out there. And they've been doing pretty good over the past weekend. They had a report that Missy Easton Turner was out of the group. Look at these fish that they caught. Look at this bunch of fish. Oh boy, they really got into the white bass hybrids and I think a few crappie. So you never know what you're going to catch at Truman, that's for sure. And we've had some fair reports of some bass being caught at Truman. Been picking up these fish on jigs, brown jigs, or black and blue jigs, with your favorite trailer. And also, if you can find the wind, throw that spinner bait. So Truman looks pretty good this weekend. All right, let's go out to Stockton. Two different reports, just like Truman. Still getting some reports of some crappie being caught back into the creek arms on the flats in about 15 feet of water on the average, give or take, jig and minnow combination. But more and more fish are being caught out on the bluffs at Stockton Lake right now. On the bluffs, use your electronics, find some shad out there, you're going to catch some crappie. And I had a good report, 16th ounce jig head, pink, that hot pink head with a chartreuse body. Tip it with a minnow, swim it or jig it. That could be a good bet for you for the upcoming weekend. Not too much to report on walleye at Stockton this week. All right, let's end this thing up out at Norfolk. Had some good reports at Norfolk on the flats, 15, 20, 22 feet of water. The hybrids and the white bass have been running real good on the flats. And spoon fishing, grub fishing can pay off. And a few crappie are still being caught out on the main lake man-made brush piles. Okay, once again, Saturday looks like it's going to be the best day as far as temperature-wise. Get out there and get bit. I want to thank you very much for being with us today. Be sure to share and like. Hey, and I want to thank you Facebook people again this week. My gosh, I think we had nearly 1,700 views on Facebook. And we want to invite you people on Facebook to come on over here to YouTube and subscribe so you'll never miss any of the action. Be sure to subscribe. We really appreciate it. And if you have any photos or information, send it our way. Email us at fishandchums@gmail.com. Get out and get bit with this week. Happy outdoors, everyone.